Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday live stream. We got a lot of things to go over, so let's just jump right into it. So first of all, as you already know, because you've been checking your portfolio or you've been checking the price action, I'm pretty sure about that. You know that the market is down a little bit. Some will call this a pullback. Some will call this a mini reduction. Some people even call it a crash. It's not a crash. It's just normal, everyday crypto digital asset action, price appreciation and depreciation. So if you're new to the space, get used to it because it's going to keep continuing on this one. And just like the title and the thumbnail suggest, there was 205 million liquidated in roughly about an hour. So what happened? Well, it's not just contained to us. Obviously, no, if we're going to drop down that much, there's also something afoot. As we can see here in the S&P 500, they're down a whopping 0.74%, because in normie world, that is an enormous amount of funds. So where does this come from? Well, there's tons of narratives out there. There's tons of things going on. People are afraid of the Fed not cutting enough. They are afraid of inflation. They are afraid of macro. They are afraid of wars. There is no shortage of what the market can be afraid of and why people get worried and they act a little irrational. And that's okay. But today, we take a look at the economic reports. This is from Market Watch. And we can see that on Tuesday, January 7th, nothing really big going on. U.S. trade deficit, we see that the previous was $73.5 billion. Expectations was 78.4, and it came at 78.2. Pretty good. And then we got this thing called ISM services. Previous was 52.1%. The forecast is 53.4. And it actually did exceed that at a little bit of a number, 54.1%. First of all, what the heck am I talking about? ISM Manufacturing Index. For those who are concerned about the minutia and the day-to-day operations and what's going on in the macro, it's a monthly indicator of U.S. economic activity based on a survey of purchasing managers at more than 300 manufacturing firms. Why is this important? Well, it's important because we take a look at what's going on in the traditional markets, and traditional markets are overflowing into our markets. People are doing leverage plays because that's what gamblers do, even though they're coming from traditional markets. And it unfortunately is a volatile situation. And because of this coming in and people are worried about inflation levels, people do irrational things. So sometimes there is another narrative out there, I'm sure of. There is another person that you can look at and take a look at the TA, take a look at the charts, and they can tell you, well, it's because of this and this and this. The reality is we are pulled back. The question is, what are you going to do about it? We'll get to that, but this is what's going on as far as the information. So this is the report that says inflation levels seem to be increasing, thus diminishing hopes of interest rate cuts. Again, we had Jerome Powell come out at the last meeting and give a shocking report that's saying that essentially he is not going to cut 3 times, maybe twice in 2025, and that's not what the markets want. Inflation worries aside, service-oriented companies said business was pretty good after a holiday shopping season boost. So there you go, a little positivity, a little negativity. The key details are this. The Institute for Supply Management's survey of services companies reading rose to 54.1% from 52%. And a number above 50% signals expansion. So again, good reports, but people are still concerned about inflation, and that will cause the markets to fluctuate in traditional markets, and then it'll carry over to us as we go down 3.9, Ethereum 5.6 down, XRP 4%, BNB, Solana. I mean, it just goes down. I don't think there's anything that's really up, and that's not really the point of this video. The video is to talk about, well, also a little bit about why. Here's the liquidation reports. We can get that from CoinGlass. We can see that in the last hour, because this has been going on for 6 to 8 hours or so, we're at 24 million was liquidated, 4 hours to 60, 12 hour 333, in 24 hours, almost $500 million. So what does that look like? Well, if we take a look at the longs and the short and which ones got liquidated, just looking at this over the last 6 months or so, just tell me which ones do you think are the ones that get liquidated the most? To me, I can tell you, longs for the most part are the ones, and it's just natural over exuberance, and it's people just going, you know what? You guys think it's the future, which it is, but the future isn't tomorrow. It's going to take some time. So just get used to the volatility. It's just how it is. But then, not to be so negative, let's be positive for a second. What are you going to do about it? What's your plan here? Do you want to pack it all in? Do you want to sell? It's okay if you do. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. Just be honest and tell me in the comments section. I will tell you before you rally up and say, I want to do this or that, let's go over some things. First of all, since I messed this up yesterday, let's go over this in a little bit of detail. If you think that we're not going to have a reduction as this bull market plays out, let's take a look historically speaking. So if we go back to the last bull run, 2021, it was a great year. Joe Biden got elected in November of 2020. The inauguration date was January 20th, 2021. Because I messed it up yesterday. And we can see that, yes, it drops from January 9th, because we had a great December and January going from 2020 to 2021. Went to from 40,000 on January 9th, 2021, and dropped roughly about 25% to $30,000. Now, I remember this time, and people were talking about, well, that's it. Let's pack it up. Let's get out of here. And of course, what happened? It went to $67,000. Not once. Actually, it went from 30,000, and it more than doubled in 3 months. It went from January to April. Then it dropped down like over 35%, and then it rallied back up to 67%. That was crazy times. Take a look at this one. The last inauguration day, you went from, look at these prices, $1,130 to $784 on January 10th. Then, of course, it rose up and it went back down again. This was 2017, and that first dip was roughly 33%. And that's where we get this almost iconic looking image these days, where this is the 2017 bull run, where it reminds everybody, yeah, we went from 1,000 to almost 20,000, did almost a 20x essentially. But just remember, the road to get there, it ain't easy, baby. You got to go for 38, 38, 33. This is going back 2016, I should say. 33% was the January one, and 38% here roughly around May, 36 and a 29 drop off. So get used to it. So when I titled this video that you're a lucky person, I don't know if you realize how lucky this is. I mean, there are so many good things that are happening now that did not happen in 2017. This is the first time I've had a president be super bullish on Bitcoin, and not like eliminating Bitcoin, but actually being Bitcoin. And the funny thing about that president, the same president that was super bearish and really wanted to get rid of Bitcoin because he wanted the dollar to be the strong, Trump, back in 2016 and 2020, he's coming back again on January 20, 2025, and he's super bullish. It's amazing to me. And then you got the guys, I mean, Gary's out. You've got the economy doing relatively well. I mean, there's worries about inflation, but I think we'll get over that. We've got Congress that's pretty positive. We've got legislation being passed. We've got new things being built. I mean, it's just a great time, really great time. And what this slide is showing you is, again, I think you're very lucky. The Bitcoin price has never dropped below the election day price, ever. Now, it could happen. In 2012, November 6, 2012, for the election day for President Barack Obama, it was $10, and it never dropped before that. In 2016, November 8, 2016, went to 707. And then even though we had those 2017 drawdowns, 33, 38, 42, whatever it was, it still never went below 707. In 2020, it never went below 14,000 for that cycle, because it went from 14,000 all the way to 67, then it dropped all the way down to 16,700. But it did not hit that presidential day price. And the last one we've had was 2024, November 5th at 69,432. Could we go down that way? Maybe, but the last one we weren't even close. And 2016, same thing. So I'm just saying, I think you're lucky just for the opportunity that you have. Not that you're lucky because you just didn't do anything, just the opportunity that you have right now to go there. So what do you do? Well, You can play it safe and do Bitcoin. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I picked up a little bit, but it's narratives, narratives, narratives. And I got to tell you, AI is just one of those narratives that is not going to go away. This is from the CES. And this was posted by the Aether community. And I want you to listen to this 10-second interview. Let me pull this up so I can make sure that you actually hear it. And this is Jensen Huang. He is the CEO of NVIDIA. I'm sure everybody knows him by now. Just listen to what he says about AI, specifically what he says about AI. Here we go.
Billion knowledge workers in the world. It is very, very clear AI agents is probably the next robotics industry and likely to be a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. There's a billion knowledge workers in the world. It is very, very clear AI agents is probably the next robotics industry and likely to be a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity.
Multi-trillion-dollar industry, AI agents. And I have to say, I think it is. Now, does that mean that all the AI agents are coming from crypto? No. No, it's not. There's going to be some projects that are going to say they are and they are not, and they're going to 10x. That's just how it is. I'm just telling you the reality of the situation, quite honestly. And that's what we have. So where do you go from here? Well, you've got the CEO of one of the largest companies in the entire world, Cinderella story that was a 30-year overnight success. And he's talking about AI agents. We've got specifics of artificial intelligence categories in crypto and digital asset spaces. Maybe you want to look at those. So the very first one that you'll see here is Near Protocol, and then ICP, and Render, BitTensor Virtuals, Fetch, AI16Z, Graph, so on and so forth. Let's start with the very first one. And I'm not telling you what to invest into. Not your dad, not a financial advisor, but Near. I had to question this because I know Near as a very dependable layer 1 blockchain. Has never gone down, has had no issues, had one of the largest airdrops in crypto history with Sweatcoin. Again, they took 200 million people from Web 2, brought them over to Web 3, had no slowdowns, had no crashes. How many have done that? 0. Because Toncoin did it with Hamster Combat. Unfortunately, Toncoin went down. Don't forget. So, and before anybody says anything, I own Toncoin and I own Near. Just telling you the facts. So Near Protocol, this is from March 11, 2024. What does this have to do with AI then? Near Protocol's token almost doubles in a week ahead of the NVIDIA's AI conference. Again, this is March 11, 2024. And I had forgotten about these things. Near Protocol co-founder Ilya Pelushkin will be on a panel at the conference titled Transforming AI. Will be hosted by NVIDIA's founder, Jensen Huang. Attendance in the upcoming release of Near Tasks, an artificial intelligent facet of the business, has sparked discussion over whether Near will work closely with NVIDIA in the future. Only crypto-related firm will be presenting at the main panel. So first of all, what the heck is Near Tasks? I linked this in the description. You can check this out. It's just neartasks.ai. And essentially what they're doing is because if you're going to do anything with AI and you want to actually pay people for the GPU, for the compute, for the actual information they do on a learning language model, it gets kind of expensive just to pay people in general. Why don't you use Web3? And that's essentially what they're doing here. And they're allowing people to work with AI and AI companies and kind of bridging that gap. Now, I don't know exactly what it does per se, but I can say that if Near has any close connection with AI, it'd be something to look at. It's one of the ones that I hold. I'm hoping it works out there pretty well. So we have Near Protocol on that one. And then this was just done by Ilya. And he takes a look at the Near AI ecosystem map. Pretty interesting. I'll do a breakdown of this video when I get a chance. It just came out today, about an hour before I started the live stream. But look at this stuff. Decentralized finance. They're working with Sender, Almac, Delta Trade, consumer apps, Questflow, agent framework, Byte, Jutsu, decentralized compute providers. This one called Aether. That looks pretty good. If you haven't checked out this video, it's pretty decent. Done over on the Dan Degen channel. What does Aether do? Essentially what it allows people to do, or industries, is they're going to need compute power. They're going to need that raw data set to actually use those LLMs and everything else that has to do with AI. But I didn't know this, but apparently GPUs at some points sit very idle. And what ETH is going to allow them to do is to rent out that space, that unused GPU power, so other companies can use compute in their AI models and they can run their AI agents, for instance. Again, links in the description. That's outside the scope of this video. And then also one thing you might want to take a look at is virtuals. This is Rex Burgundy. Rex Burgundy just got his AI voice this week, and it's pretty good because he's actually able to answer different things on Twitter and Discord and everything else in his own voice as a real individual person in the tone of Ron Burgundy, which is pretty good. But Virtuals Protocol, again, rocketed up. I think it's like number 41 right now. And I think it's down. Let's see. Well, how much is it down today? Oh, it's down 7.5%. It was down 10%. That's pretty good. So maybe this might be something to look at as well. Let's see what's done in 7 days. How about 1 month? Now we're talking. How about 3 months? How about 1 year? Gone pretty crazy. And don't worry if you think, oh man, I missed it. Compare this to the Solana run in 2020, 2021. Looks almost the same. But that's just cherry picking data, I must admit. But anyhow, when you go in here to Virtuals Protocol, there's a lot of different ones that are available to you to take a look at. And just take a look by market cap. Let's see. Market cap. Kind of evaluate there. Again, these are the things that when we heard this here from Jensen Wang, he's telling you AI agents are a multi-trillion industry, perhaps. So on top of that, not only is Virtuals doing their own thing and they're making these different agents, which you can create an agent right here. I didn't even know you could do that. I need to do a video on this. Create a new agent. I don't think they're at that point where these agents can do what AI agents are supposed to be able to do, which would be like to actually do autonomous types of decisions and take control of your, say, bank account or say your trading account or say a hold of your like vacation requests and book everything. I don't think it's there. I know it's not there yet. But again, this is all speculation. Create a new agent. So what also are they doing? Well, there's a little project called Illuvium. Maybe you've heard of it. They just released this about 2 hours ago or so. It looks like they're partnering up with Virtuals for their fully functioning Web3 game, I might add. And they're going to allow people to do, I guess, make their own AI agents within the Illuvium game itself. Web3 gaming, boundaries of experiences, maybe make, that'd be interesting. Wouldn't it be like to make your own AI agent within a game that you can use to farm and just have the AI agent like play this in the background as you farm different things on Illuvium? I don't know. It's just, I see this as actually being more partnerships coming together because you can do some more things with AI agents and those types of things. So again, these are the things that you can look at. I think that you're incredibly fortunate to be at this position. We'll see what happens in the end of 2025. Maybe it all goes to zero. Who knows? It is a speculative asset. This gives them financial advice. And on top of that, before we get into a little Q&A, I just want to bring up one thing. Bobby sent me this, and he said, I have no worries, mate. Why is he have no worries when he's down? Well, I think this is like in 24 hours. He's down 1,000. Because all this right here, all these meme coins that he got into, look at these. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, I tell you. Gambler. He did the half and half method, and this is all house money. So he said, that was the title. No worries, mate. And this is what he's got. So as time goes on and we're into these different things, maybe it'd be a good idea to take and check out rule number 5 is take profits along the way. And then when you do that half and half method, like Bobby does, is that when things start to erode and crash, all that money that you took out you either have no worries or you think to yourself, hey, maybe I should reinvest this as we're down 10%, 15%, 20%, and kind of go from there. If you're not familiar with the half and half method, link in the description, you can check it out and go from there. And then lastly, I forgot to tell you, Tomato Coin, looks like we are at almost 60% of the minimum of what we're supposed to raise. We've raised 31,900 Cardano so far to launch T-Coin or Tomato Coin on MinSwap on a decentralized exchange. And looks like we've got it's a 14-day, so that was the first 24 hours. So we'll see if we get there. But that's it for today. So look, if you'd like to check that out, links in the description. Like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now let's go into the little Q&A. I'll answer all your questions the best of my abilities, and we'll go from there. All right. What do we have? Joey says, I just keep falling upwards through all my luck. It's pretty good. You're a lucky guy, Joey. Lucky guy. Yeah, Materia says, May, could you please explain how the MM operates? Are they bots or humans? We're talking about AI agents? I don't know about this one. So AI agents are bots, essentially. I mean, they're bots, and they're just based on an algorithm, learning language model, and they're able to do the things autonomously by your input. Now, I got to tell you, I think the people that figured this out first and figure out how to use this as trading and do it very well and protect their downside are going to make a boatload of money. But I also see that the first people that try to do this are going to lose a lot because it's not going to be a very, very smooth experience. Let's see. Rebecca says, does the half and half method apply to regular stocks? No, well, it depends. Are we talking like penny stocks, or are we talking about like big, huge, multinational, massive stocks? It just depends. Because like the half and half method, I made that for non-established cryptos. Like I'm not talking about that for Bitcoin. Mostly it's for like stuff like this, where, hey, who the heck knows where it's going to go? So you better take some profits before it goes to zero. And then the other thing is, well, Rob, what about the taxes? Because I don't want to pay taxes. Look, it's better to pay taxes, even if it's high, than look at your empty wallet for nothing. I'd rather keep 60% of my profits than 0% and round trip my bags. Jimmy says, I need some of Joey's luck. Yeah, man, I know it. I know it. Jesse says, Bill runs looking good to me. We will see. Oh, market makers. Amazon. I need to do a video on that one. Let's see. We need bacon coin to go along with the tomato coin for the BLT sandwich. Yeah. Chinza says, Rob, are you converting your 70% Bitcoin to alts or missing out on the bigger gains? I am not converting Bitcoin to altcoins. I know some people do it and they love it. I just don't see the point. Actually, no. I take that back. I see the point. It's people who are like, you know what? I got to be risky because there's going to be massive gains right here. To me, it's like, it's like, how much do I need? My bills are paid. I'm relatively healthy and I got a roof over my head. So I don't really need too much more. And I feel like, I think that when we start to sell out of Bitcoin, it's like a reduction of, or it's a increase in risk valuations. So if I sell out of Bitcoin into some other like altcoin that's kind of risky and it goes to zero, where am I? On the flip side of that, if I just keep things in Bitcoin, it's been around for 14 plus years. I don't see it going to zero. And if the 4-year cycles stay intact, or even if they don't, I'm still going to be pretty well off. And who knows, with a Bitcoin strategic reserve like we've been talking about forever now, I'm fine with just keeping it where it is. That's that. Holy smokes. Chris says, hey, from the UK, opened a position on virtuals today with a 3x leverage. I broke the rules. That's okay. Look, these are just my rules that I play with, right? Yours are well suited for you, and you know what you're good at, Chris. If you're good with like a 3x, have at it, man. And that's that. Who's buying the dip? I think most of us are. I think there's a big difference between buying the dip now and like a bull market, which that's what we are, as opposed to like buying the dip in 2022 and everything just keeps going down and down and down and down. Like people will say like, no. That's what you're supposed to do. Just keep buying as it goes down and down. You can do that. That's what I did. And now I'm reaping the rewards. But mentally, it is very tough. And very few people, I think, can do it. And I think that's why you guys are here, because you're one of the few that can do it. Let's see. Lots of volatility ahead. I agree. False alarm. No good point for SWE. No, I mean, SWE works great. It's as far as like TPS and a narrative, it's kind of there. People seem to want to build onto it. And we'll see. We'll see if it's between SWE and Aptos. I kind of would be surprised if this bull run is meh, because everyone's expecting it. Yeah, it could be. Stacking sats, that's all I try to do, I just here for the long run. Stack sats over time. Right. Market makers. Yeah. I've been around for 50 odd years and I'm going down, Rob. Lesson of life. Yeah, I know. It's once you hit that magical half a century mark, everything just does not work right. Just bought more Theta. Theta was like my favorite project back in the 2021, or one of the favorite projects. Let's see how it does this time around. Mohammed said, can we all agree that Solana is a house of cards waiting to collapse? I don't know, man. It seems to work out okay. I know people will say, but it's centralized. Well, so's Base. No one has a problem with Base. Probably because it has no token. Like, we give a lot of guff to Ethereum not, popping off and doing great. But Base built on Ethereum, and it works out great. Base is fantastic when you're transferring like USDC because there's no fees really. And Base is built on Ethereum. And also you have Virtuals, which is built on top of that, on top of Base, and it works great. So maybe that's just how it's going to go. Layer 1 solution, which is Ethereum, battle tested. And, the institutions trust it. So we get that one. Is it the best technology? No. But there's something to be said for trust and longevity and just going for it. It's like that, back in the 80s, new supersonic plane take you from New York to France in a couple hours or whatever it was. And people did it and then, had a horrific accident. Then people just went back to the old planes like, well, I trust that one. It's not as fast, but I'm not going to die. So I'll take that one. Yeah. Put half my Bitcoin at ADA. Wow. Let's see. We're docs, right? Good afternoon. Ed is here. Don't ape in anything without research. That's true. Or you can do what I do. Buy a little bit, and then it forces me to go and explore and do my research. So if I buy into a little bit of something, like this is what I did with Virtuals. I'm like, okay, this sounds good. I don't know what's really going on here. Let me just ape into it. But I was like, well, not the whole thing. So I did like, little 5%. Something that's annoying. You're like, I got X amount of dollars in there. I don't want to just leave it there. Let me research that. And then once you do more research, you're like, oh, this is a great narrative. Oh, they're actually making strides. Oh, they have partnerships. Oh, they're doing some different things. Okay, let me invest more into that. And that's it. But I've also done the opposite way, like with Grass. Grass is an AI play. I know that Grayscale loves it. I put a little into it, forced me into it to research it. I looked at it. I'm like, wait, I can get this for free just by opening up my computer? No, I learned my lesson with Sweatcoin. So I took everything out. Wasn't that much. Ah, sweet. So Tomato Coin. The price right now, because it's the sale price, it's the IDO, it's 2 cents. I can see Tomato coin going from 0 as it just collapses under its own weight. And it goes to nothing because, I dump on everybody. We talked about that before. Don't worry, I won't dump on me. I dump on you. You can trust me. Trust me, bro. Trust me. Or it could go up to $22. It's between those two ranges, $0 to $22 for tomato coin. That's it. Now, to be seriously though, people ask me, is this a scam? Are you going to rug pull me? And I was like, oh yeah, sounds like a great idea. I've been working in YouTube for 5 years, and I think it's a great idea to rug pull 33,000 ADA from my subscribers and the people that have trusted me for all these years, so I can take in 33,000 ADA or 50,000, whatever it goes up to. Sounds like a stellar plan. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. I'm liquidating assets to buy right now. As long as those assets, you're in profit, sure, why not? Half of Bitcoin ADA could be $5 in ADA, which is true. Depends on how much you have in Bitcoin. Namir says, need more dry powder. Phew, me and you both. We did so much dollar cost averaging. Our bank account looks so frail. Full moon coming. Tesla says, wait. Celsius or Fahrenheit? Both of them are losers. Yeah, Celsius. Worst, one of the worst recommendations of all time. Finance research. Can't wait to retire off unicorn fart test. If you haven't heard about this story, unicorn fart test, it's a guy that, I forgot his name, but he's heavily into precious metals. And what he did was he had his own meme coin just to prove how dumb it was, and it took off. And it had like a $500 million like market cap, or I know it was over 100 million. And now he's like a believer. He's like, hey, look at that. So yeah, unicorn fart test. That's the future of finance. Mine was BlockFi. Yeah, BlockFi also sucks. Bree says, how's real estate? New Jersey just listed, raise my taxes and insurances too. I might be easier to put into markets and sit back. No, you're right. It is. Real estate in Austin apparently is going down, which is kind of crazy to me. I guess they've built enough to where the supply is outstripping demand. So that's good for them. Over here in Puerto Rico, it's there's a lot of deals to be had, and I think there's more deals coming up. But as far as like property taxes here, they're very low here. Texas, much higher, much higher. Insurance is reasonable, just looking for the right deals at the right time. And don't even expect to use a bank here for like a loan. It's not happening. Pi says, Pi, who has been on fire on X, if you're not following Red Panda Pi, funny stuff. Great account. Can someone lend me some kidneys? I sold all mine. And Blue Mammal says this Inauguration S-coin. It's true. Yeah. Rookie mistake, Panda. You have 5 liver lobes. Yes, and little known fact, you can regenerate that liver. So that's the gift that keeps on giving. And you don't even need both kidneys. Did you know you only need 10% functioning of one of your kidneys to stay off the hemodialysis? Yeah, it's true. I used to work in dialysis. Great, good stuff, good times. Rob, could you do a video about yourself, your childhood time in the Army? I moved to Pure and got a real estate and crypto. You know, if you go to Digital Asset News Puerto Rico, type that into YouTube, you'll find that's pretty much the video I put out. Napoli says, Rob, what are your thoughts on the book Hijacking Bitcoin? So this was the one from, let me pull this up. Hijacking. From a man. Whoops, it's not looking for. From Roger Ver. And he goes over just how the different powers that be in the Bitcoin ecosystem pretty much 86 Bitcoin Cash and what they were trying to do, which was to expand the block size. They were never trying to increase the finite number of 21 million, even though they forked it, it's true, and they increased the block size. But there was a lot of shenanigans going on in the background for what Bitcoin and Bitcoin maximalists wanted to keep it. Some people to this day still hate Roger's guts. I look at Roger and I'm just like, you know what? The guy just tried to do something that he thought was right. He was trying to keep with Satoshi as a peer-to-peer transaction and make that as for payments. Right now, you can't use Bitcoin as peer-to-peer transaction for payments, and especially on a global scale, it would be unsustainable. I mean, we just look at what happened in 2021. We didn't even have mass adoption, and the fees were astronomical. So like when I read the book, I'm like, a lot of things made sense. I didn't know that Roger actually served jail time for selling firecrackers on eBay or whatever it was. But it was interesting book. I liked it. And then hopefully, if you don't know, Roger's still battling it out. They're trying to extradite him, for they say that he committed tax fraud back in 2014 or something, which is insane because I think the statute of limitations they shouldn't go back that far, I thought. But yeah, he's in Spain, and they're trying to extradite him to the United States, and they're trying to put him in jail for 109 years. And people say, well, that's what he gets for tax evasion. First of all, that's not even proven. You're innocent until proven guilty. And second of all, 109 years for tax evasion? Get out of here. People convicted of manslaughter get like 10 years, depending on how great their lawyer is. Ridiculous. Anyhow, back to crypto. That took a weird turn, huh? Risk bands, Sol, Bitcoin? Good question. Let's take a look. So let's just sneak into this website. Ben won't care unless you guys tell him. Let's see. We'll take a look at Solana and Bitcoin. What are the risk bands? First of all, Solana is heading into that overheated territory, and XRP is at the highest out of all the different cryptos for risk bands. Hey, let's take a look at Solana, XRP, and Bitcoin. So Solana wristbands, 0.7. Max out wristbands, $794. I could see that. $800. So Solana will be somewhere between $23 at no risk and $794 towards the end of this bull run. I could see that. Now, let's take a look at XRP. So at zero risk, 57 cents. That was long. I remember those days. And for max risk, okay, 5.0. So that's what we got. And then lastly, and then we got to wrap this up, is Bitcoin at 0.593 risk, which is pretty, 97,000. But where does that mean for a 1.0? And again, this will all change over time. Look at that. $224,000. And I can also see that. But I'm feeling very bullish today, and it's a good day. So who knows? Anyhow, that's it for today, everybody. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe. You can subscribe, but it's not like YouTube's going to notify you. So good luck with that. But that's it for today. Thanks so much. And all you guys will see you on the next one. Adios.